watching. So today I'm working more on adding features and targets to the model. Here's what I got previously. This is using a lot of different scripts to do everything. But you can see I got the data, cleaned the data up, did a basic analysis looking at fundamental variables. Then I defined a universe, trained a LGBM model. The best I could do is about 51.5% directional accuracy. So I want to do better than that. I implemented it into a portfolio strategy here and got something that works. You can see this looks like really successful, but this is during a bull market and it's only making one pick per day. And this isn't a very robust method. So I need something a little bit better. So I need to explore through different strategies of universes, models, and portfolio allocation strategies. And the problem with this is I need to make a new script to do each one of those. And so this results in currently dozens of files. Long term, it will be hundreds of files. And it's not really usable for anyone else. So I'm organizing everything into a few classes, a few scripts. I've got filters and clean data. I'm feeding that into the stock universe. That class is working, and I'll feed that into the returns model now. Before I code the returns model, I've got to finish adding all of the features. This is the work over the last few days where I'm showing that features work. I had to correct for stock splits. Here I did that successfully. Yeah, and so this is just more features. And so this is the list of all features and targets I want to get. And once I have them, then I could code the model. So I'm getting there, but I still have a little bit more work to do on adding these features and targets. Let me put in a comment to the chat really quick. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the moving average crossovers because that should be pretty easy. So the first thing is here I have to put in a function. And input will be close, prices, yeah, so let me look real quick at the logic for the one from yesterday. So calc obd Ronaldo. Other requests. So if f-type is custom stat, then this is our func. And the out should be function of the args. Close volume, high, low, close. Inputs. So the inputs for spread AR are high, low, close. Okay, so the type custom stat, the function is the one I'm defining up here. Moving average crossover. Inputs. What's the inputs to this SMA? So the inputs will always be log return. So the moving average of the log return. No, I could just do the moving average of the price. So inputs should just be close, moving average of the close price. Outputs. Do I want to do real or binary? Should be real. Need to put a comma there. Okay, so now for the function, time period. And so all I have to do for this is just get the moving average. Yeah. So moving average is close dot rolling of time period dot mean, and then so basically we want to return 1 if it's above the moving average, 0 if it's below the moving average. So how can I do that? I'm gonna put some music in real quick. Where'd my headphones go? I just had them. Oh, in my lap. Okay. Settings, I think my Bluetooth's off. All right. Said a prayer to my dear Lord. In the kitchen they call hell. Where df of a Alright, so what if we do good. So that's pretty easy. So we can just say MA is equal to back to Dublin some fine day. Fairly well, fared over fairly well. Your season's turn. The day of my return. The day of my return. Very good. So MA is equal to MA dot where. Are you leaving?
I'm leaving. I love you.
Okay, love you too. Have fun.
Cold, honey. I'm wearing my M&M.
Maybe you're getting sick.
Wearing my M&M sweatshirt. Isn't that what you said? I looked like M&M in it.
Did I say that? Well,
Yeah.
It's true. I'm pretty funny.
I love you.
Love you too.
See you in a bit.
Okay. Smiled and waved the smoke out of her face. Where MA is greater than But okay, so I don't have if it is so close is Okay, now we can say test MA crossover. Really, this should all be the same. And then the name should just be MA crossover. Time period, we'll do the 200-day moving average. 50-day moving average. Shift -1 to make it a feature. Okay, then we get not Apple, we're getting Ford. Okay, then we're plotting. Then we also, so we're plotting the price, but we also want to say price x dot plot sub df dot date. Also want to plot sub df dot close dot rolling and 50 days dot mean. Color is teal and label is 50-day moving average. And let's test it. Oh, I need to save this file. Woke up this morning. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Walked in the kitchen and died. And oh, what a feeling. My soul went through the ceiling. And all up into heaven I did ride. What? Closed. Roll. Needs to be a function. Don't pull that stuff on me. Hand me down my walking cane. It's a sin to tell a lie. Send my mouth way down south and kiss my ass goodbye. And pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane, and the blind could have my eyes. Deaf could take a Good morning, Open. Open 191, how are you? What's going on with you today? Oh. No, why is it not Putting all my money on weed and pills, trying to write a song that'll pay the bills, but it ain't came yet. I ain't sitting in old Baghdad in the middle of a hot damn desert, sitting in the tank. So what do the keys look like? 200-day moving average cross, 50-day. Bunch of more cars, guitars, and other stuff I can't buy. What's good? I don't know what's good. Ideas are good. Thinking is good. What else is good? Let me show you my PowerPoint real quick. So, this is what I want to do is build a model to predict the stock market. This is the basic layout. So I want to have something to predict returns. This I got rid of. But basically I want to have a model to predict returns in the stock market, and then a manager that allocates a portfolio based on what the model's predicting. And I want to go every day. So I want the day to end in the stock market, and then I want to pull the data for the day at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. West Coast time. And then once I have that, I want to make buys for the next day, stocks to purchase at the market open. And that's kind of the easiest way to do things. So what I did, this is kind of the first go of things. I got data, tried a couple of different data sources. The place where I'm getting data is in the description, but I'll just show you right here. This guy updates databases every day with whatever's most recent. So Dolt is basically a tool you can use, and you can get these databases onto your machine. And then I have a bunch of scripts to get data from these. It'll be SQL databases on your machine. So it's basically efficient. You can pull the data easily. And once the market closes, you have, like 16 hours to pull the data. Thanks. Well, so this is what I got. This is how I did on the first iteration. So I got the data, cleaned up the data, kind of looked at some stuff, but this is like a qualitative analysis. It's not going to help for automating anything. And so then I built a model. You kind of have to cut out all the crappy data, like penny stocks or things that aren't being traded. And so I did that, and then trained a model. And I'm getting, the best I could do is about 51.5% accuracy in the direction, so predicting whether a stock's going to go up or down. I was getting 51.5%. Now that's not bad, because if it's better than a coin flip and you make enough picks, you'll make money. I tried out some different portfolio strategies and found one that did actually really well. But the problem with it is it's only picking one stock per day. And so the next step is to find something that works even better. But the portfolio strategy, there's only so much you can do if you're not improving the returns model. So with a returns model that's about 51.5% directionally accurate, I'm pretty limited in the portfolio strategies I can implement. So the next thing is to train the model more efficiently, get a better model. Um, and the problem with how the code is set up right now is I need to write a new script every time I want to change the stocks that I'm training the model on, every time I want to train the model differently, and then every time I want to implement a different portfolio strategy. And so this is going to end up in hundreds of files. It's already at dozens of files. Yeah, 51.5% was the best I could do. But overall stock. So what I was doing was training on the data goes back to 2011, and it's daily price data: open, high, low, close, and volume. Um, and so I was training the data from 2011 to 2018, and then testing it from uh, after 2018 through 2025. So on that test region, it was getting 51.5% accuracy, which is, better than 50. Something's going right, but really to get something that's a really effective model, I want to get a higher. I want to be able to get 53 or 54%. And so before I'm making a better model, I kind of need to organize everything in a way so that it's usable and just in a couple of files, and then I could just easily test out as many different models as I want. And so that's what I'm working on now. So I've finished all this stuff: filters, clean data, stock universe. That's already coded, all of this. And then this is going to be fed into the model to train it. And then what the model is going to do is it's going to generate the features and targets that I specify. So I want to say, for instance, get the 200-day moving average crossover, train it on that, plus the log returns, use lag the log returns by 5 days. I want to be able to rank the stocks, like these are the 5 day log returns, but then this is also the rank in all of the stocks for how it's doing. And so there's a lot of features I want to implement. And this is the list of all the features and targets I want to do. And the ones I have highlighted are the ones that I have implemented. And so I have a pretty flexible script here. And that makes it so that to add a new feature, I need to there's this library called TAlib. If you go to Yahoo Finance or something and you're getting like Bollinger Bands or MACD, anything on the model, and you're looking at it, it's using TAlib. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm not going to put any money in. My goal is to get something 55%. I feel like, at least for, that's like kind of the next step. I'm getting 51.5%. If I could get 53 or 54, I'd say that's a big improvement. And then from there, I want to maybe I could make a robust portfolio strategy off something that's doing 53 or 54. Maybe I need even higher. But once I have, so the goal is to write this script, then get a model that's 53 or 54% right, directionally accurate. And then get a portfolio strategy working. And once I feel like I have something robust for the portfolio strategy, then I'm going to test it for a month just with paper trading, not putting any real money in, and see how it does for a month. And if it performs well over the month, then I'm going to start putting real money into it. And kind of there's a few goals I have, because one thing is to make money. But another thing is, once I have all this cleaned up into kind of an efficient class, this will be a useful repository for people to use. So I also want to, that would really help me get jobs and freelance gigs and stuff for coding. If, I have this GitHub repository that's really useful to people. So that's kind of another goal. So, there's these TAlib functions. I already implemented all of those that I could, and now I'm implementing custom things. But the Kind of the layout's really good. How it's at right now, like this moving average crossover. I just added like basically a what's it called, a key and value for the dictionary that holds this sub dictionary that kind of contains information you need. What do you want to train the model on? And then I just need to add a function up here for getting that feature target. So that is, I don't know, good. Yeah, so I'm walking through this trying to get everything. This is what I'm doing right now, and now I'm testing it. But when I run the test, I I don't know why I'm not seeing the feature plotted, unless something's wrong with how I coded it. But that is a pretty simple function, so I don't see why that would be the case. So yeah, that's basically what I'm up to. Long story long. Um, okay, so feature X. All right, so let's put the debugger in here. And then I could see what the column looks like before I get the plot. Well, not the model. I'm not going to make the model open source. That would be foolish. But I want to make, basically what I'm doing right now is making a tool to train the model. And I want to make the tool open source. And then if you want, anyone can use this to train something. And then I won't lose my edge, but I'll, make something that's useful to people. And yeah, like I said, the goal is twofold. If I'm not able to get an edge, then at least, well, if I'm not able to get an edge with this, then no one would really be interested in it. But yeah, I'm not going to open source the model. And ideally, I would have, a complex setup with lots of models. Um, like, um, like I would have a bear market model, a bull market model, sector models. It would be fairly complicated. So this, ideally complicated enough so that, oh, thanks. Complicated enough so that nobody could, get my strategy without a lot of work. But simple enough so that anyone can, build their own models. Um, all right, so what's the data frame called? Subdf. Yeah, so nothing's going in. Oh, this is all nan. Oh, I think I need to do this. Should have known. Sweet moonlight. Hope did it right. Alright, so it's not plotting anything because that whole column's all nan. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah. Why is this returning all nan? So I'm saying where close is greater than moving average. Greater than or equal to moving average. That should be 0 or 1. My background's really in physics, but the cool thing about physics is it's really generalist. Um, so kinda you end up doing a lot of data science if you do physics. I mean, data science is just a useful thing. I don't know anything about finance really. I'm learning about it. Yeah, I don't understand Why is my test returning all nan for the crossover? And also, this is kind of a nice break from physics. I really like the data science stuff. Um, but, if you're always doing it on like physics stuff, it gets old. So this is like a fresh sort of arena to apply it to. Without, that's what I do for work. I don't want to spend my whole life. I'm not that. You have to be kind of like autistic to, um, where all your free time is spent doing work as well. So I can't. I have bad time focus, a hard time focusing on projects. Oh, it's crashing inside try. Oh. Yeah, so this is the plot that's not showing. Oh, I also need to fix the labeling. So above, below. And I like coding in Python. It's just kind of fun. Okay. That should work, I think. Let's see how this does. Come on. Alright, let's see what the data frame looks like. Still nan. Well, um, I don't know. The homework does take forever in physics, but I was like a huge nerd in college. That's what I liked. I just moved into the library and all I did was play chess and work on physics. That was my whole life. So, um, I don't know. Uh, Hopefully they keep at it. Lots of people, I don't know, but I never complained. I really liked it, and I think that's why I'm made for it. And it's not, you find time, you have time off, so you basically pick what you want to do. I don't want to spend my free time on physics. But physics is also, I really liked it because initially, because it seems like the realest thing you can do. You know, so much of even finance, lots of the stuff isn't real. It's, you know, all being manipulated and stuff like that. The good thing about physics is, you know, it's simple, it's real. If it doesn't represent reality, then it's not physics. I don't know. I just like that. Um, Not changed, I'll say converted. But still. Also, I wasn't even in college that long ago, but when I was in college, you had to, the only way to learn was, there were good internet resources, but it was like watching YouTube videos, reading books, reading Wikipedia. That's how you had to get it into your head. Now, with stuff like this, the large language models, you could just talk to it about physics and say, how does this make sense? Why is this way? How does this equation, you know, fit into this other equation? And, you know, if you're trying to solve a problem and you're stuck on it, instead of just hitting your head against a wall, you say, hey, I'm trying to solve this. How can I do it? How can I, you know, I've got to this point in the equation. Now I want to solve this integral, but I'm stuck. Help me solve it. All that stuff, you know, it's made physics so much easier. And it's made so that if you want to learn some new field of physics, it's really easy. You can say, give me important papers about this topic. Yeah, that's not it. Log prices versus raw prices. If you have any prices less than $1, there are no there are no prices less than $1. Oh, so type. Hmm. Input types never referenced. I'm getting into data science when I graduate this year because I'm just such an autist when it comes to ML and LLMs. What's scary though about I'm always scared in technology about whatever the hot thing is. I never want to be involved in whatever the hot thing is. I want to try to find whatever the hot thing's going to be in like 5 years. And so that's what scares me about LLMs. Yeah, you do. You do need to be, I don't know, people say I'm kind of autistic, but that hyper fixation thing, I don't. I hyper fixate on things, but I also love new things. I'm constantly trying to find something. It's like ADD, but I also think ADD, ADHD. I don't. First off, I don't think that's real. I actually think all that stuff, unless you have like severe autism, if you have like Asperger's or something, or ADD, ADHD, bipolar, literally every psychological disorder. I think I call it big brain disorder, high powered brain disorder. That's what I call it. Um, and I think that's all it is. I think if you have a high powered brain, you can have all sorts of things. You know, you can go off the rails in all sorts of ways. But basically, if you, I don't know what I'm saying, but I think I have a high powered brain. And I think people with high powered brains, people with low powered brains always want to diagnose them as having something wrong with them. Oh, you get hyper fixated on things. Yeah, because I have a high powered computer. Anyway, if you like data science, you probably have a high powered computer. Oh, and it comes. So what is your major then? Computer science? Um, Input type. I don't think that's ever a thing that I specify anywhere. Data map of request.input type of real. So when I define the feature, the issue with tech is that in 10 years, whatever you learn will be ancient. Good thing I can never work with anything. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's kind of the perfect place to be if you get interested. Oh, you're in high school. I thought it was your friends were in college. Oh, your friends are in college. Physics undergrads, and whenever I see them, you're good then if you're about to enter college. You're still, I think all you have to do is be flexible. And there's going to be the LLMs, it's going to be the same thing as the dot com bubble. If you know about that, look up the dot com bubble. Basically, the everyone saw that the internet's going to be the new way to do things, and then the stock market went crazy. Every company was a dot com. If you had dot com as part of your company name, your stock price would just fly. And then there were huge, massive investments in like internet infrastructure, um, billions and billions of dollars. And we see the same thing right now. They're investing. It must be above trillions of dollars because every deal is tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars. So there's tens of trillions of dollars going into AI infrastructure. Also, do you know about the AI winters? That's like a cycle in AI, and it goes through winters. And then the last AI winter, AI got big in like the 80s or early 90s, but then the computing power just wasn't strong enough. So it went through a winter until 2013 when Transformers. There was a paper published called AlexNet on. I'm pretty sure that was AlexNet was using Transformers. Um, and the first AI stuff came out in the idea for perceptrons for computing things came out. I'm pretty sure it was like the early 50s, early or mid 1950s. So it's constantly, there's this AI boom and then a winter, and then an AI boom and then a winter. And the last winter ended and AI boom started in 2013. So I think we're headed for another winter, and there's not going to be much progress. It basically hinges on NVIDIA's coming out with the new GPUs, the Blackwell GPUs, and they're going to. They say they're giving their first GPUs to XAI this spring, like around April, is when they're going to ship. And then there's going to be the whole new class of models is going to train on those. And the big bet everyone's making with AI is out of this new class of models, which should come out by the end of this year since they're training starting this spring. By the end of this year, they're all betting that super intelligence is just going to pop out of the training. And so either super intelligence pops out of the training and it's a paradigm shift and the whole world changes, or uh, it doesn't pop out of the new model and we're going to go plunge into another AI winter. And if we plunge into another AI winter, the paradigm's going to be stay away from AI. Big it was a big goof, but that would be the same as the internet in like 2002 when they say, "Oh, stay away from getting involved in internet stuff." If you had been in college in 2002 and did internet stuff and then graduated in 2006, and you were like the master of networking stuff, you would have gotten rich from like 2006 through the current day. So yeah, I think a lot of it's about like just positioning yourself to what's not hot now, but what will become hot again. Um, yeah. Come on, thing. Let's see if I could think this out. Elif inputs in config and len of config inputs is 1. Else if inputs is 1, then source is data map of log price. Oh, if request.input type is log price, else data map raw. So here I could just say input type when I define the feature. Input type is equal to yeah, the overhype of AI is driving the stock up like crazy. No, it's not gonna end well. Yeah, there's that meme of the circle. Um, and they're all just funding each other. General public has such a warped perception. Yeah, that's true. The general public does think it's like a computer, that they think of it as like a person inside the computer. But it's really just, here's one thing about the AI models that's the big question, is people feel like, oh, it's a person inside the computer, and the next generation's going to get smarter because the what ChatGPT 2 was way better than ChatGPT 1. GPT-3 was way better than GPT-2. And GPT-3 in the computing world was really like a huge deal because that basically seemed like it was passing the Turing test, um, but like not perfectly. And so that's not the one that blew up. But then GPT-4 was an exponential improvement over 3, and that's when the Chat GPT came out, early 2020. Was that 23? I think it was early beginning of 2023. And that was like the paradigm shift. And so everyone's assuming, oh, the next one will be even better. But the thing that nobody's accounting for is it's already training on the corpus of human knowledge. And so you're gonna need some like advanced reasoning. And I think it comes down to the data centers it's training on. It's not live like your brain. In your brain, everything's contained in here. It's really small, so you can send signals really quickly. But when it's in a giant data center, you can't send signals really quickly. And so you're like isolated to training and then implementing the model. But that's not how your brain works. Your brain is doing training and model implementation at the same time. And the weights of the model in your brain are constantly updating. So um, I really don't think, it's already training on the corpus of human knowledge. The chips are getting better and faster and more efficient, but until you have, everything's condensed down to the size of your brain, you're not going to have that speed of the signals. And until they have something that's constantly training. So there's a few things. That constantly training thing, it doesn't have that. You need basically a data center sized brain. Um, and The other thing is the signals aren't getting sent as fast because it's all isolated to a data center. So I think they're going to hit a roadblock, and what I think is going to happen is the next generation of models will be an improvement, but we're not going to get superhuman AI out of it, and then that will plunge us into a winter, and the AI bubble will pop just like the .com bubble did. And that doesn't mean that the future of AI won't superhuman intelligence won't come out in the future. I think it will, but I think we're gonna have to wait like 10 or 15 years, and that'll be the time to get into AI, when the paradigm shifts from AI's the next big thing to AI we thought was the next big thing, but now it's dead. That's the time to get in. Um, Blah blah blah. Um, the reason I want to do data science is that it feels more practical at hand and less abstract than CS. Um, yeah, that's true. It is more practical, but the problem with data science is I don't like CS as, I mean, both, you have a hard time getting a job in computer science. I think computer science and physics are like the lowest employment rates. But then you should watch at the what was that? The Davos conference. They had Larry Fink, the BlackRock CEO, interviewed Alex Karp, the Palantir CEO, and Alex Karp was saying, "Oh, I majored in philosophy, and I knew it was going to be hard to get a job, but if I got a job, I knew I would be okay." I think that's how like computer science and physics are. Um, but see, computer science, there's lots of cool things you do. What I think is cool is computer engineering. That's what I would do if I could go back to college again. A double major in computer engineering and physics. Yeah, where are you? What do you mean the job market here? Are you in the US? I mean, that goes back to that thing that Alex Karp said. It is true that there are no easy jobs to get. You have to basically forge a career for yourself. But everyone who has an interesting career has forged a career for themselves. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the trade off. If you want a job like right out of college, data science would be good. Um, I don't honestly, if you're good at math, I would say that's the way to go. I have. You should take a IQ test because all the top math people have like super high powered IQs. And if your IQ is high, I have a high IQ, but I don't think it's high enough to be good at math. Um, and yeah, not gonna torture my. That's what I was just reading about the Baltimore. Oh, you're in the Middle East. I have no idea what the job market is like there. But what your job market is cooked for math and physics? Do you want to live where you are? You could always move somewhere else in, I don't know, China or something. The US is going to fall. We're staking it all on the Iran thing. And basically, the US will get a. It seems inevitable. US is going to provoke a war with Iran. Um, and if the US wins a quick war, if it's over in a week, then US will go back to being the hegemon, the world dominant power. But if it turns into a long drawn out war, it'll be the fall of the US, the fall of the dollar, the AI bubble will pop, and we'll be in like the worst position we've been in 100 years. So, um, consulting, tech, or blue collar. Well, tech. That sounds like you would be good for computer science if you get a computer science degree. Consulting, tech, or blue collar. What kind of consulting? Business consulting? Well, yeah, up to you. I don't know where you live. I've never been to the Middle East. Insecurity is insane, like job insecurity. Like you get a job and you don't know if you're going to have it in a few months. Is that what you mean? Um, I got distracted, but I think this will work if I just use raw as the input type for the feature. Um, the input type has to be raw. So in feature request, we could just rewrite this to say um, if so name. So I could say here if name in, and I'll just do a list with one, but then I could add other things later. Self the input type is raw. Also, I think LLMs is like Google when, like maybe 5 years ago, people would tell me, "Oh, you're good at googling," and I just thought, "What the hell does that mean?" But then I would see people who were bad at googling, and they would just type like a question in. Whereas if you're good at googling, you just type in like the keywords. Um, and I think LLMs are going to be the same way. If you can be the guy who's good at um, you know how to talk to the LLMs, that's going to be a huge leg up over people who, just ask like questions. The big four companies, those guys drive me nuts. I think consulting is just bullshit. What do they even do? What does a consultant even do? They tell you how to optimize your business. And Really, if you're already like a good, efficient business, why would anyone need to tell you how to optimize your business? So those guys drive me nuts. The big four companies. My ex girlfriend was a partner at EY. Oh, no, not my ex girlfriend. My ex girlfriend's mom was a partner at EY. And I'd always ask her, what does consulting do? And she would say, oh, we tell businesses how to like improve. And I always thought, what even is that? MA crossover has inputs. But the only input I want is close. Data map. Google searching courses. Millennials. They drive me nuts. I'm right at the cusp. Some people, by some definitions, I was born in 97. So by some definitions, I'm a millennial. Some definitions, I'm Gen Z. I forsake the millennials and I choose to be a Gen Z guy because the millennials, everything about them is just dead. Yeah. Oh, hey, that's exactly what I think. You put it in a much more succinct way than I could say it. That's going to be the pinned message now. Consulting is just role play from adults as a front for money laundering. Yeah, I had a job at Northrop Grumman, like the big defense contractor. Um, I worked there. I worked there for like 8 months, but I worked there in the office for like 3 months, and I realized these guys don't do anything. They just play dress up. They like to dress up in nice clothes and pretend that they're doing things. They like to send emails to each other, but no actual work is ever being done. It's just bullshit. Holy unk. Yeah, I am becoming an unk. I'm almost 30. Unbelievable. And my brain's still high powered now, but you keep getting older, your brain power goes. It's depressing. You're young, you have all the brain power at your disposal. You have the whole future before you. I'm old and dead. Um, Data map of request input type of real. So request.input type. So none of these are ever getting called. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom again real quick. I'm drinking too much beer. Be right back. Okay. Because everything is just a generalization or a model. You never get to see, experience anything firsthand or to truly understand anything. What do you mean, the consulting people? Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. That's the problem with school. I always hated school for that reason, because you don't get anything real. And then the teachers, the best teachers are the people who did something in the real world and they're excited to share it with you, ignite the spark. But then there's a bunch of teachers who've never done anything, and they just worked their way up in some system bureaucracy, and they're just crap. I always hated school for that reason. Wait. Well, what are you taking? Are you taking data science? Do you in high school? Do you pick a focus or something? When I was in high school, we just did. They teach you everything. And my high school sucked. We didn't learn anything about computers. I went to college and I met all these other people who did coding in high school. Took calculus in middle school and stuff. My high school, there was no coding classes. There was one computer class, and they taught you how to do Photoshop. There was, and then there was one calculus class, and that was it. And you take it your senior year of high school, and all the smartest kids were in there, and there was only one. And it's like, how did that happen? How am I competing with people who took calculus in middle school? Um, so data map is raw, but then I'm getting. What's the IB? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of the IB. I have no idea what that is. What is it? IB, what's that stand for? International business? So where's the error coming from? 286. Here. Source of input name. Where's input name defined? Well, what is it? What is the IB? Is that a test? For input name, in config of inputs. Close. That's not line 286. args.append. Source, src is data map of log price if request.input type is log price, else data map of raw. Okay, so it should be data map of raw is source. Maybe I didn't save this. They have standardized syllabus, international baccalaureate. But international baccalaureate in high school? Oh, so it's like a higher level high school. Wow. No, I've never heard of that. That sounds cool. Standardized around the world. That's cool because you can rely on it. You don't have to, because otherwise you have to. I didn't even know they had that. But school, generally it's all work for like abstract stuff. Line 288 now. So if inputs in config and len config inputs is 1, okay, so is greater than 1. So we're always getting sent to this line if the length of the inputs is equal to 1. So here we can say if request.input type is equal to raw, we want to say args.append data map of request.input type of inputs of 0. Data map so we want to do config of inputs of 0. All right, let's see if this runs. Relying on the Indian kids for chemistry notes. Oh, well, interesting question. That was what I was working on. Damn it, that's still not working. Oh, I need to say else. Anyway, interesting question, because that was the first thing I was really interested in, was sports betting. And the whole thesis of the sports betting, doing this on sports betting rather than on the stock market, is the stock market, you have an endless array of quants and all these people working relentlessly to find strategies. And that means that you constantly need to this is what everyone talks about. Like if you look up the algorithmic trading subreddit, everyone talks about you need to constantly update your models. You basically need to be relentless, because anytime you find an arbitrage or a strategy that works, it gets closed like that because someone else is going to find it, because it's basically this endless army of quants working on it. In the sports betting markets, and also, people are investing their life savings. Lots of people, the paradigm now is they say just invest in ETFs. And then an ETF is just, managed by quants, managed by people obsessed with the market. They're using all these computers, high frequency trading. It's really hard to find an arbitrage. If you look at sports betting, most of the people, it's not people betting their life savings. It's not people, not ETFs run by armies of quants, not hedge funds run by armies of quants. It's just people drinking, mostly drunk people, betting on sports. And so that's what drives the lines there. And so the idea is it should be way easier to find an arbitrage. The problem with sports betting is there's not a lot of free data to find. Um, and I'm wary. I don't want to invest, money in data, if and then not be able to get a good strategy. And so that's kind of the roadblock that I hit when I was doing that. Um, Finding good data is really hard for sports betting, and that's why, because people who make money from sports betting, they get their data and they hide it and they sell it for tons of money. Um, so the downside is there's not as much free data to build automated strategies. The upside is there's way more opportunities for arbitrage. So I've kind of moved on to the stock market model, but that's in. If you look on my channel, I have a bunch of streams where I was doing basically this, but for sports betting for NFL. And NFL is the hardest market to get a strategy in because it's so popular. Um, all right, so it's not breaking anymore, but I still don't have any data. Anyway, all markets are the same. There's just people, the market participants are driving prices, and you could find strategies that work. And I had an idea a long time ago to start a sports betting hedge fund, and just have algorithmic strategies that work, and then sell them, or get people to invest in the hedge fund. Rigging low tier soccer games sounds like the best money maker. Well, then that's when you get into like that's the problem I have with sports betting is well, one, the games could be rigged, and it's like, how do you train on games that aren't rigged, or that's gonna mess up the data training and stuff. Yes, that's exactly right. I just think this aligns in so many ways. Even if this ends up not working, I've gained a lot of subscribers on my YouTube, a lot for me. Um, and I'll have, a GitHub that is reputable that will help me get coding jobs and stuff. Um, I already have 4 stars on the GitHub, which is a big success for me. That's my other. The other, I only have 2 repositories that have multiple stars, and it's this one, and has 4 stars, and also I have a repository of NFL betting data, which has 4 stars. That it was funny. I was able to steal it from a website. They didn't have good. I basically just poked through their URL. I found a glitch in how they coded their URLs, which I think happened because the site went offline like weeks after I found this. And so I think they were like shutting down and didn't care anymore or something like that. Um, Helper function is crashing silently. The crash happens in moving average crossover due to these 3 lines. Close. Oh. Right. So the close shouldn't be 0. That was a funny comment about consulting. Where is it? Consulting is just role play for adults as a front for money laundering. That's so true. That's what's good about. Did you see the? I keep seeing these reports. I think I heard this also in the Larry Fink. What the hell is that guy's name? Interviewing the guy from Palantir. They said that half of white collar jobs are going to disappear in the next 1 to 5 years. And I say, good riddance, let it burn. And they say, oh, that's going to cause an employment problem. Not for people who do real stuff, not for plumbers, not for data scientists, only for people who like to play dress up and do nothing for work and make gobs of money. Let it all burn. They don't deserve it. Free markets. In a free market, they don't deserve it. Let it burn. And the other thing about consulting, what is the real thing you know? You know how a bureaucracy works. You know the laws and the government in your local region, and you know how to get around them. Like, big whoop, congrats. None of that's real. I can actually just, because it's a numpy array, and then I can convert it to series after I convert the nans. Okay, let's see, does that work? Alex Karp, that's that guy's name. I like him, he's cool. Palantir seems scary. Palantir has a list compiled of millions of people, of US citizens who they view as, problematic or whatever. Still nans. What libraries am I using? Pandas, NumPy. Oh, TAlib, that's a big one. That has all the. I think I said this earlier, but if you go on Yahoo Finance and you calculate, put Bollinger Bands on the data, um, that's using all stuff in TAlib, and it's written in C code, so it runs as fast as possible. And they have a wrapper in Python for TAlib, so that's a big one. Pandas, NumPy. I'm using the debugger. Palantir reminds me of that one movie quote. I forgot what movie it was. Something like, "I'm not putting money into weapons stock. As much as I hate Bush, I'm not pro." Wait, what? I'm not putting my money into weapons stock. Oh, and that's, yeah. I'm not pro war. I'm pro money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the military-industrial complex. If you refuse to put your money in there, you're not gonna stop it. You're just gonna miss out on the profits. And Bush, he was a bad president because he was impotent. He didn't have any power and he didn't think for himself. Um, and that created a situation where the Bush seems like a cool guy. Um, but if you don't want to, if you're the president, you got to be powerful and you have to think for yourself. If you don't think for yourself, what Bush did is he didn't think for himself. He just liked being power. He liked being the president. Um, and that made it so all the military industrial guys took over. And boy, you don't want to let those guys take over. The neocons and stuff. Yes, we have the feature. So let's see, does this make sense? All right, so it only starts here now. Okay, so I don't know what to say about that, but here it's above the moving average. Oh no, here it's below the moving average. So it moves from above. If we extend this back, you can see why it would be above, to now it's below the moving average. Here we have a crossover. Goes back to above the moving average. Oh no, this is below the moving average. Oh, then it goes above very slightly for a little bit. And then it crosses back down. So this should be lagged by a day. Yeah, it would be easier to view this if I had two separate data frames. So instead of twin X, let's do one row, two columns, number 2, one row, two columns, number 1. Add subplot. Then price ax dot set x label should also be date. And then here we can do plt dot tight layout. So the moving average crossover should lag the real data by a day. And if that's happening, we know it works. Exactly. An individual can't really stop it. So that's why you're going all in on Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin seems good. RTX seems good. I signed an NDA with Northrop Grumman, so I don't think I can talk about why, but all I can say is I would not invest in Northrop Grumman. They seem like a disaster. All right, so let's see. Does this make sense? So when does the crossover happen? We have it crosses over very briefly on, what would that be? April 13th. No, definitely not financial advice. Just what I would do. Just my personal opinion, my personal feelings, which don't mean anything. That's just how I feel. All right, so we have a crossover on the 13th. It goes from below the moving average to above. So now, when does this happen? Is this on the 14th? The 15th. It goes to 1, but it crosses over. That looks like the 13th. Okay, and then it's above the moving average until, so it should stay at 1 until the beginning of June. And then it goes down on June 3rd. And when did this crossover happen? June 1st. Oh no, this is June 2nd. So on June 3rd, what's the price at 0, 0 on June 1st? So June 1st, it's above. June 2nd, it drops below. But then on June 3rd, it goes back above. Yeah, so this works. Okay. So let me put this into the PowerPoint. And I can say, what's today? 2/15. Good, thanks. Yeah, well, my goal is to stream every day, but sometimes I don't stream in the morning and then I get home from work and I'm just tired. But tomorrow's a holiday in the US. It's George Washington's birthday, so I'll be doing a stream tomorrow. So yeah, tune in. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the interesting conversation. Oh, and join the Discord. Someone told me to make a Discord. I think that's a good place to talk about stuff because I get two things. I get to blabbing, and then also people want to know references and stuff. Um, so it'd be good. I haven't put anything really in there. Um, where did I put my headphones? Need some new music. Anyone watching, recommend me some music. From above the MA on June 1st to below the MA on June 2nd, then back above on the 3rd. The crossover feature is above MA on the 2nd, then goes below MA on the 3rd. Hey, Mitsa Spawn. Any music, really. My favorites are dance music, country music, and rap. Yeah, so something ideally from those. Dance, electronic, country, or rap. But, you know, anything works. Pop. Just to pay sweet daddy's bail. Okay, so, also in the PowerPoint, I can say here, I got moving average crossover, which means I've got all of these. So now we need range ratio and gap size. What is range ratio? A classic. Yeah, but what is it? When I got there, they did say, John, it happened this old way. You slipped upon the floor and hit your head. And all the angels say, Just get 'em out of here. Venus de Milo. That is a classic. To the junk man and give my love to Rose. Do you like the John Denver song Rocky Mountain High? And the Colorado. This is a good playlist. Good auto playlist that came up on this song. West Virginia. Moving mountains. Shenandoah River. Need to start a new session with a different user. Country roads, take me home. No. On it in the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eye, country roads. Have you ever heard the Hawaiian version of this? By, what's that guy's name? Israel Kamakawiwo'ole? Or something like that. What is it? Country roads, take me home. Something mountain and a clear blue water. What's the funny part in that song though? There's like country roads. I gotta look that up. Country road, take me home. High Ridge Mountains. Almost heaven. West Virginia. West Kikaha. That's the funny part. Crystal clear blue water. Yeah, he was like 700 pounds or something, and then he died right after he got famous. Country roads, take me home. West Kikaha. Her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. Hey, Sir Night Night. I'm getting more features. I'm close to done, so hopefully this stream or the next few streams I'll wrap up and be done with the features. Because it's kind of boring and coding intensive. But once I have this, I'll have, I just need to make the model and portfolio classes. And that's basically it. Take me home to the place I belong. West Kikaha. Oops. So now I need to write a test for the feature exponent. In the morning hour, she calls me. Yesterday. Weskakaha. Okay, now we're gonna, so we want Hurst exponent. Now write a function belong. Look up feature importance when you get the chance. Feeding all those features at once will produce a lot of noise if you don't determine which ones actually. Yes. I actually, yeah, I had that in my head, but I didn't know how to do it, and that was my plan, was to do them all at once. And but I'm gonna output something like this for feature importance, and then just yeah. So tell me if this is a good strategy. My initial plan was to put all these features in at once, and then look at previous features, and that was kind of the. I had two ideas, I guess. Do them all in at once and see what's most effective, and then do each one by one and see what's most effective. And then I could maybe get an idea of what to drop out, what to keep. Yeah, what's the song, Mitzo Spawn? What's the European song? Now do the same for autocorrelation. Then write a test in clean tests.py, which works like the test for the moving average crossover. Yeah. Okay. That's a good strategy. And then I'll do feature and yeah, I'll send them all into the model and then look at, what matters, what doesn't matter. And also I can change it around so I can rank any of the features, get the rank instead of the absolute feature. And what's the other thing I can do? Change the number of days it's looking back, how much it's lagging, and get like 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average, stuff like that. So then I want to, for the features which are effective, what lag is most effective. Tommy Cash Espresso Macchiato. Seems to be popular. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. That's just what I need, a constant confidence boost, because I've been stuck in the weeds on this stupid thing forever, getting the features. But yeah, I think my background did prepare me well, because that's, just the code structure thing. I was like, oh, this is a thing I've run into a million times where I do a bunch of scripts. What I need is something concise that will do everything at once. That was my intuition. Anyway, thanks for the confidence boost. That's just what I needed. Did I add the feature? Yeah. But I want to test the Hurst exponent also. Man, good. That's the new pinned comment. Although the last guy's pinned comment was pretty funny. Okay, I've had 2 beers. I can't have any more. Because then I won't be able to think. Okay, turn this one off. Anyway, good input. That's just what I need. That's why I like the live streaming, because if I'm just doing this on my own, I guess I have kind of a negative attitude, is my disposition. And I develop a negative attitude and say, test Hurst autocore. Oh, Hurst. Yeah, if I'm just doing it by myself, I get a negative attitude and I go, this is going wrong, this is taking forever. Maybe I'm not even doing things right. So comments like that really help a lot from people who've already done this. And once I get this done, I can finally update the GitHub. And it will be something useful for people and not just crap. Oh, good. Somebody forked my repository. So I have a fork now. 4 stars and a fork. But that guy didn't like it. Why would you fork it and not like it? Come on, Fibonacci Pi. Why don't you like the repository? Oh, well, thanks. The AI stuff helps a lot. Because you can just look up new things. I mean, it's pretty amazing how fast it helps me learn. Come on, hurry up. Okay, so once I have autocorrelation and Hurst expo. Oh, these, I can highlight the header here. Those are all done. Yeah, so once this is done, I'll have that. Range ratio and gap size should be easy to implement. This should be easy. That should be easy. This is going to be hard, I think. I don't know how to do that. But that, honestly, I think is kind of redundant. where the journey will end. Yeah, Gemini is crazy. I couldn't. Someone told me to. I was using Chat GPT to just do some like basic, figure out like a strategy. What do I need? What model should I use and stuff. Um, and I got totally lost on it. But then once I started using Gemini Pro, I couldn't believe how useful it is. Why is this taking so long? It's still computing the grouped features. Alright, coffee and beer is making me pee a lot, so I gotta go to the bathroom again. Okay, let me plug in my phone. And by a beating heart, I can tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. Okay, so this is inefficient, I think. Life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, it's fine by me. Self and I couldn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over. And Gemini, is really good because it actually writes code that's useful. Of the any other free AI I've tried, it writes code that's just absolute crap, and it's better to just write my own code. This was the first time I saw something could actually put out useful code. One of the functions is and Google. Wow, what a powerhouse! To think, I always thought Google's toast. The AI's come about. Google's big thing was PageRank. That was 30 years ago. It's a wrap for Google, but nope. It shows what a good company they are. I'd buy some Google stock if it wasn't so expensive. One of the functions is, and I don't know, everyone knows Google's awesome, so I'm afraid to buy it. This test says one of the functions must be inefficient. What is taking the test so long to run? When I'm wiser and I'm older, all this time I've been finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. When I'm wiser and I'm older. No, I didn't know, I didn't know, I didn't know. No, that's not what I wanted. Rewrite the whole test so that I can copy and paste it in over previous test. Holy smokes. What was that, like 20 minutes it finally printed? Whoa, how did it add in this, I like that. Or add some, fill. So what's the Hurst exponent again? I keep forgetting what that is. .5 is a random walk. Above 0.5 is trending. Below 0.5 is mean reverting. So never drops much below 0.5. So it's saying trending over this region. It drops to mean reverting. And then goes back to trending. Kind of does nothing. Up here, it's trending up, it thinks. But that's really because this went through such a big jump. Strong trending. It drops back to noise. Strong trend down. Dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die. I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die. Oh my gosh, which response do I prefer? I don't know. Skip. Oh, that's it? Easy. I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die, a dabba dee dabba die. Dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, and dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die. Blue is the color of all that I wear. I have a girlfriend, and she is so blue. Alright, I don't want to get rid of that plot. So I'm just going to go here. Stock market tool. So how many things do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, that's way faster. Alright, are these the same? Blew himself with a blue little window in a blue Corvette. Drops below. Dances between above and at the line. Goes back below here. Goes above. Yeah, that's the same. These guys are the same. I think that makes sense. Once I have all the features, I need to do a comprehensive test of everything before I go ahead with the model. Does that look like a random walk? Well, does what look like a... Oh, no, I exited out. Damn it. Yeah, does what look like a random walk? Whoa. I need to read that book you suggested. Does what look like a random walk? And I don't... A random walk means that it's just random... Okay, this looks like a random walk. The Hurst exponent doesn't look like a random walk. Hey, good tip. I'm assuming you mean autocorrelation. Yeah, I need to read that book. I've been lazy. But this does look, the autocorrelation does look like a random walk. I think. But maybe because it's a low number of days. Yeah, I don't know. But that seems good. Oh, this isn't a random walk. Well, I guess you're saying it shouldn't look like a random walk. Random walk just means random values. It's just. I think a random walk is like. Where's the Wikipedia? Oh. Well, how did I prove that? From the random walk. Or from the. Which one proves that? I guess you don't have to tell me too much stuff. I should figure it out for myself. But short term persistence. Oh, markets have memory, so I guess that would be the. Oh, so that Hurst exponent isn't a random walk. But some markets have, non random markets have memory. A random market wouldn't have memory. But what, like 0.5 constant wouldn't be a random walk? Um, oh, I think my brain is cooked here. From the beer, coffee, and just doing this. So what would be the next thing to add? This I'm highlighting yellow because I'm not able to get it. Or maybe I'll make it orange or red. Orange would be good. Why can't I do more colors? Okay, yellow's fine. Maybe magenta. So since that's magenta, I can say this is done. So I'll go in and incorporate fundamentals later. Oh, that's why moving averages work. Because markets have memory. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm basically done. Subscribe if you thought it was interesting. I think you're the only one here, Sir Night Night, so there's no point in telling people to subscribe. Yeah, that's it for today, though. Thanks for watching. Adios. I might do another stream later today. I might do, I might wait till tomorrow, but we'll see. I just have to. So, how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 features left. So some small, you know, probably less than 20% of the features, all features I want to incorporate are left. So I need to finish implementing these and then do the test for everything and then get it to work. Anyway, thanks for watching. Adios. Have a good rest of your day. But some markets have like